Bloodbath. One of the hardest levels in Geometry Dash. The most influential level of all time.
Bloodbath.
Bloodbath!
Bloodbath.
Bloodbath! Bloodbath! Bloodbath!
The level that started my YouTube and streaming career.
No!
And the level that I almost dropped for good. So back in September, I was going off to college and I deleted all my VODs. I never thought I was gonna return to Bloodbath, so this video starts after what we will call the break. The break lasted for about 3 months from September to December when I finally made my return to streaming. On the first day back, my goal was just to relearn the level and to regain the skill that I had 3 months prior. But I forgot to click record for the first hour of the first session. So let's just go ahead and skip to the first runs from zero, because there's not really much else to show. Dude, if I do something stupid on this level again, instead of just passing it, I'm gonna genuinely freak out, bro. No, I clicked too fast. Dang it. On my first good run, I had already made it past all the hard parts except for Etzer. Wait a minute, already? Is Bloodbath easy or something? Well, I'm so glad you asked, because it is definitely not. Allow me to explain the parts that I just completed up to this point. The beginning is really easy until this ball section, which is basically a spam, but not quite, because there's this one spike that you can die to. But as you learn the level, it ends up getting really consistent. You are then thrown into this ship section, which gets very consistent over time. Well, I don't really know if I can call it consistency though, because I don't think I ever did this ship section the same way for more than one attempt. Oh, dude, the way I do that ship is different every single time. I just kind of beat the part, and well, that's all that matters. After that, there's a really easy ball, which I died to a lot, and then Michigan's part. Michigan's part is easily the hardest part of Bloodbath, and it's not even close. Before the break, Michigan's part was the biggest mind block for me, and after the break, it was still the biggest obstacle that prevented me from getting a good run. Bro, on everything I'm clicking. Oh my god. There is not one click that is easy in Michigan's part, and there's even a 60 FPS frame perfect in this little UFO part. I'm gonna be honest though, I don't even really know which click is the 60 FPS frame perfect is. You're just gonna have to trust me that there is one. The number of runs that this part killed though is at least in the hundreds or maybe even in the thousands of attempts. At least, I'm not the only one who has problems with Michigan either. Vortrox also had some, well, interesting problems with Michigan's part.
The triple spike now! New world order is upon us. Run while you still can!
Yeah, I don't think I had it that bad. Thankfully though, the level lightens up at Evasium and gets even easier as you enter Crack. Yes, you heard that right. I think Crack is probably one of the easiest parts in Bloodbath. Besides the ending, of course. Maybe I'm just ship carried, but these mini ship straight flies are just not hard at all for me. Oh yeah, and this click right after Crack's part is literally an impossible timing.
Yeah, that coin's kind of impossible timing. What the fuck, bro?
Anyways, let's go ahead and get back into progression until we pass more parts. Oh, no way, bro. I should not have died there. Why am I dying to Crack now? Please don't. No way, I died to the same thing. I was too high, bro. What was that click pattern, dude? Why did I do it like that? Well, as you can see, my progression was halted at this UFO. This UFO really doesn't have any difficulty at all, except for remembering the tiny little intricacies of the individual clicks, which for some reason, I just ignored. I kind of would just click and get lucky and then hope I passed the part, honestly. I knew the relative click pattern, but didn't really know why the click pattern worked. I got lucky and never really had trouble with this part before the break, but after the break, I just forgot how to play the game. It seemed like this UFO would become the new choke point for me after the break. Bro, no shot! Okay, never mind. I guess we're just gonna pass it and then die to the 3 CPS ball part. Yeah, for some reason, this short spam is literally impossible for me. I think I might be the only person other than Toph to actually struggle with these clicks, but at least I pass them the majority of the time. This ball part is completely free and is usually a free Etzer attempt for anyone who gets to it, but for me it was not. The next attempt I got far though, I ended up fluking all the way through Etzer and tying my personal best that I got from before the break. I died to 86? Again? This was absolutely huge. It had taken me only a few hours to get where it had taken me over a month to get before the break. Clearly, I got that random skill boost that everyone gets when they take a break from Geometry Dash. Yeah, I don't know what this phenomenon is, but every time I take a break, I always come back like 3 times better for absolutely no reason. I asked a bunch of my friends if they had the same experience, and they all did, except no one knows why. I guess if you want to get good, take a bunch of breaks? Who knows? Anyways, let's talk about the parts that I just fluked through. Etzer is widely considered to be one of the hardest parts in Bloodbath and is one of the last choke points in the level. It isn't really the hardest part, but at 70% into the level, the nerves definitely get to you, especially if you have an inconsistent click pattern. I'll talk more about that inconsistent click pattern later, but for now, all you need to know is that there's a few fast clicks that are difficult and then a straight fly to end off the part. Following Etzer, there is a ball part which is completely free unless you manage to click the last blue orb a little too late. Then there's a UFO which is also free depending on the click pattern that you use. There is definitely a best pattern to doing this, but I'll talk more on that later as well. For now, just know that I was doing the wrong click pattern and really just getting lucky whenever I would pass it. I ended up dying to the easiest part in Bloodbath, the completely wide open wave spam. I genuinely don't think I've seen anyone else die here as much as I did. After catching my record though, I realized that I had a real chance at beating this level on the first day back. The only problem is the random gauntlet results were scheduled to release just a few hours later, and someone in chat told me to react to them. By the way, Rob Top's choices were absolutely horrendous, but I digress. Oh yeah, I also beat it backwards by first trying 86 to 100. Shortly after tying my best, I would get right back and even further.
87. We got a new best.
Yeah, so I only gained 1%, but I did not care. I was just so relieved to be consistent at this level after 2 to 3 months in Dagestan. I actually died because I was so focused on spamming the wave that I accidentally clicked in the cube portal and then jumped off the invisible platform that is there to help the player stabilize as they enter the ship. Yes, it was a bad death, but it was a nerve death, and honestly, I just can't be mad at that. Then, something I never expected would happen happened. I got another attempt past Etzer, except this one was different. I passed the wave, I know, impossible, and then the ship, and then got my first attempt at the ending since I started 4 months ago.
No! 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 What? Oh my god, no way.
Yes, this death did hurt a little, but the progress was insane! I was actually doing it. I was beating Bloodbath. If you had told me as a kid that I would be playing Bloodbath, let alone beating it, I would never have believed you. I mean, I practically grew up with this level. When I started playing the game, this level was by far harder than every level that was legitimately verified. Looking at you, Sonic Wave. And I used to fantasize about beating it. If you're a real one, you definitely remember those red versus blue memes asking whether Bloodbath or Sonic Wave was harder. I mean, it was practically the Crips versus the Bloods the way those levels were moving back in the day. Of course, now we know that Sonic Wave is just way harder, but Bloodbath honestly looked like a promising competitor back in the day. Anyways, now that I had an ending attempt, I knew my nerves would be so much better when I got back there again. Now, it would only be a matter of time before I beat it. Meanwhile, let's look at the parts that I passed in order to get this new best. I didn't really pass much, but I passed this ship, which can be quite difficult with nerves, and then this weird click, which involves really a timing on your release, but whatever, that click doesn't really matter. Then, all that's left is the ending. I pass the ending almost 100% of the time in a start pause, but obviously in a real attempt, it's a whole different ball game. Get it? Ball. I wasn't worried though because I could easily get back there without too many issues, especially since I already know that I can do it. After this run, I had a few good runs, but only one of them made it past Etzer.
No, dude. No way. I wasn't even nervous, to be honest with you. No, I knew I was gonna die there. Dang it. No way I die. No way. No way! Dude, no shot. I wasn't even nervous there either. No way!
Considering my only goal for the day was to relearn the level, this turned out to be an absolutely generational stream, and I was completely ready to take on Bloodbath on day 2. So, I also forgot to click record on day 2, and well, I'm not using YouTube's stream quality, so I guess we're just moving on to day 3. I mean, at least nothing really happened on day 2, so you're not really missing anything anyways. Thankfully though, on day 3, I actually remembered to click record at the beginning of the stream. I was not about to take any chances after forgetting to record on both day 1 and day 2, just in case something happened, which it did. Anyways, before I started from going 0, I was practicing the later parts of the level and ended up discovering those 2 click patterns that were better that I mentioned earlier. The first click pattern is in Etzer and it makes it far more consistent. Previously, I was relying on a fair bit of luck to pass the part, but this new click pattern delays the 3rd click of this UFO so that it more accurately actually fits the pattern of what you're supposed to do. At first, I was concerned that it might take me a long time to actually relearn and rebuild the muscle memory, but it literally took like 2 minutes, so it didn't matter. On top of this pattern, I also discovered another one in this UFO, which literally makes the part like 10 times more consistent. Prior to this click pattern, I had no idea when to click and kind of just relied on intuition rather than actual skill. With the new click pattern though, I legitimately never died to the part, and it took me like 2 minutes to learn as well. Shortly after correcting my click patterns, I started going from 0 and was making extremely quick progress. On the first attempt, I made it all the way to Etzer, but unfortunately didn't get a chance to try out my new click pattern.
Oh, dang.
Then, literally the next attempt, I got all the way back to Etzer, and then died before that click pattern again.
Hey, another good attempt.
And so I decided I was going to go practice it, but then guess what? I beat it backwards. I hopped into a start pause expecting to need more consistency at Etzer, except I then did Etzer to 100 first try.
Oh, never mind. Wow, okay.
Clearly, I did not need any more consistency. At this rate, it was looking like I was going to beat the level in absolutely no time. My next great run would come shortly after as I died to the ship at 89 again.
No way. Oh.
Clearly, I was absolutely moving on day 3. And so without further ado, I present to you my hardest completion yet, Bloodbath.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Come on! Oh my gosh! Yes, dude! Finally! Finally! No way! Oh my lord! Wait, we beat it! No way! 23,205 attempts. I didn't think I would ever get into 20K.
Even if it might not seem like it in my streams, I absolutely love Bloodbath. I would have never expected to beat Bloodbath in a million years, and I can definitely say that I am proud of that accomplishment. And despite the challenges that this level presented me and wanting to quit the level for good, I pushed on to accomplish this absolutely insane feat. There is one lesson that Bloodbath taught me, and it is to never give up. After 4 months of pain and over 20,000 attempts, it was finally over. But this is nowhere near my stopping point. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to go like and subscribe so you don't miss the next video, and comment down below what my next hardest should be. Also, if you're interested, then go tune into my streams. I go live on Twitch and YouTube, so you can find me on either one of those platforms. The company is much appreciated, so come say hi. And with all that being said, and my hardest challenge being completed, peace and love, and I'll see you in the next one.